Hi there. I'm Paul Falstad, clinical mental health counseling graduate student, high school English teacher, and single father of a daughter named Isabel Ann. You're looking at her snapshot of a while back when she was actually smiling. You probably don't notice anything different about her, but there's a lot different about her. It's scary different. In fact, her life is in danger because of it. Allow me to tell you more. So this is Isabel today, an aspiring actress, singer, songwriter, dancer. Used to perform Broadway musicals as a kid at the largest dinner theater in America. She cute, so vibrant, so innocent, so naive, so full of life, and so transgender. Maybe you guessed, the girl on the right is not my daughter. The girl on the left is my daughter. So here she is at about age 5, and I knew she was different. At age 3, as a matter of fact, she used to like to play in dresses and wear high heels and do her makeup and fix her hair. And she was so proud. She'd come and show me, beaming. And I shamed her because I didn't want my little boy to be a girl. So my daughter's transgender. Big deal, right? Yeah, it's always been a big deal. And I'm here to tell you why. Perhaps we could figure out a way to help her and the other kids and the other transgender people that are facing hate, misinformation. They're considered perverts, immoral, sinful, shameful, uh, freaks. And they need our help. Now, they may be the new minority right now, and I don't want to be unfair about our current minorities that have for centuries faced systemic racism, our African American brothers and sisters, our indigenous natives who the white man stole their land and destroyed and decimated their people, raped and killed and burned, tortured. And now they're almost gone. Nothing white folks can be proud of, including, of course, the slavery of African Americans, and now the miserable continuing racism and hatred, bigotry, prejudice, and systemic discrimination that continues today under the guise of white privilege, really. And well, as a counselor, I know I have to do something about that. And as a person who believes in righteousness, not to be hyper spiritual, but doing the right thing and standing up for those that can't speak for themselves and being a voice for the bullied, for the weak. And that's why I went into counseling. So let's just go over some facts about LGBT folks and what they're facing today. So I don't want to be mistaken as being naive or even hypocritical, because before my daughter was what came out as trans, she was gay. She identified as gay male, and I was perfectly okay with that. But as a Christian, I thought gays were going to hell. And interestingly enough, once I found out my daughter, well, my son at that time, was gay, I had to have a real close talk with myself and God about my son going to hell. And it turns out that I learned very quickly that God would not send my daughter to hell, or my son at that time, because she was attracted to the same sex. Right now, there's about 350 laws facing Congress and Senate, uh, basically anti-LGBTQ legislation that minimizes their rights and their protections. And there 150 of those are anti-trans focused. The U.S. Department of Justice website noted that this month, April 2023, a young trans boy was killed, shot 8 times because of his gender expression. And in Ohio this month, a church was firebombed with a Molotov cocktail by a man. He was upset because they were hosting drag shows. It's dangerous to be different in this country. So CBS News reported this year that 45% of LGBTQ teens considered suicide in 2022, based on a remarkable Trevor Project survey. Well, this is a fun statistic. More than half of LGBTQ adults have been threatened with violence. An estimated 53% of LGBTQ adults report having experienced threats of violence since the age of 18, and 3 out of 4 had been verbally insulted or abused, according to the UCLA School of Law Williams Institute in June of 2021. I can tell you that my transgender daughter has been bullied since she was preschool. She was always different, and kids know when someone is different, and especially when someone's weak. And we all know that bullies pick on the weak. And she was ostracized, she was physically beaten, spit on, kept out of the social circle, and just isolated and invalidated all her life. And the toll it took on her is just unbelievable. Just don't be black and trans and a female. As the Harvard Civil Rights Civil Liberties Law Review quote, it's become a pandemic within a pandemic. In the 2022, this summer, 6 black trans women, all under the age of 32, were murdered in a span of 9 days. Pandemic, indeed. Well, it's late and I'm tired. My daughter's tired. LGBTQ people are tired. Black people are tired. Native Americans are tired. Jews are tired. Muslims are tired. Buddhists are tired. I think we're all tired of the hate. I suppose you could just consider this my editorial on equality for all. And of course, I focus on trans folks because my daughter's trans. And a note about my daughter. This is very personal, as you can imagine, and I'm not making excuses, but she has been suicidal just about every day for decades. She came out when she was 27 as transgender. Before that, she came out at 16 as gay. You may say she's just confused. I know she's a woman. She's found her identity. Now she's just trying to live it without being hated on. I hate to keep saying hate, but this is impromptu and there is no script. So from the heart, I have to talk her down off the ledge weekly from severely suicidal intentions because she's been invalidated all her life. She's been bullied all her life. She's been ostracized all her life just because she was different. She was effeminate as a little boy, very girly. And as I mentioned, I knew she was different when she was 3, but I didn't know she was trans back in that day. We didn't even know what trans were. And if she had come out and said, "Dad, I want to be trans," or I'm a girl, I would have said, "No, you're not a girl, honey. You just want to be a girl and you like girls and you'll grow out of it." And even if I did think it was true that she really was a girl, it's so unlikely that I would have done anything about it as far as transitioning. First of all, we didn't know anything about it. Second of all, that would have been suicide, murder for my daughter at that time in the 70s. No, it's 80s. I was born in the 60s. So right now, as I mentioned before, there's about 350 laws on the books across the country that are fighting LGBTQ rights. I only speak on my daughter's behalf, and what I've seen in her life is that they deserve the right to be who they want to be and who they believe they are. And it's nobody else's right to tell them they can't be for whatever reason it might be, whether it's biblical, political, biological, philosophical, it doesn't matter. And right now, there's a bill that is supposed to support LGBTQ rights throughout the country, because at the moment 28 states have no laws protecting LGBTQ people, basically in employment, housing, medical care, things like that. But mostly, let's just support each other. And as the Beatles say, John Lennon famously said, "Let it be." I'm Paul Falstad. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.